Right. FPS games that I've played. And I will note quickly, Dying Light 2 did not have guns when I played it. Therefore, it's a first person game, not a first person shooter. I'm not going to change this list. I already spent ages deciding what to put in it, finding all the pictures. So I've definitely missed some games that I've played. But yeah, let's do it. I know it's going to be very unprofessional because it's just for the boys. So like that's why you can hear me drinking a lot of water. I'm not a meal right now. You don't care. Let's just go. Roblox Phantom Forces, eh? Um, Good skins, like weapon skins. The combat isn't terrible, but it is Roblox. So for that reason, it goes in GOAT tier. No, 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 no. Phantom Forces is just straight mid. I think it's not a bad game, but it's very mid. Heroes and Generals. Right. This is on my opinion, by the way, all of it. So it's not about, oh, this is critically acclaimed or this revolutionized the industry. If I don't play it, if I play it and don't like it, I'm gonna be honest. So yeah, Heroes and Generals is a bad game. I don't like it. The original Star Wars Battlefront for the PS2. Um, where do I start? One of my first shooters that I played with friends specifically. The I don't honestly. I was such a small child that I can't remember if it was online or just bots. But I specifically remember playing it with friends, like around my house. So for that, the nostalgia and just how it was, it's going in elite. Left 4 Dead 2. Oh, the mods are great. The gameplay's fun. It's killing zombies. Oh my god. No, it's bad game. Sorry, lads. Yeah, we're just gonna move on. I don't like Left 4 Dead 2. Overwatch, specifically Overwatch 2. Now, I've got a lot to say about Overwatch 2. All I'm gonna say is, it's not as bad as people say, and for me, honestly, it's a good game. It's not mid. It's not bad. Apex Legends. Time to kill Pex Legends. People love it. Movement's good. The abilities are good. Oh, it's brilliant. Shadow dropped Battle Royale. Everyone's hyped. I've spent a lot of money on Apex Legends, guys. And I wish I could say it's one of my favorite games, but it's just mid. And, mid when I was playing it, carried by enjoyment of friends. But that is a big factor you have to take into games, playing it with friends. If you're playing it on its own, in my opinion, unless it's a single player game, obviously, you're going to have a worse time than you would with the boys. Because you don't get the fun Leo screaming about walls being OP and stuff. So, yeah, that's why Overwatch is good. If I was playing it on my own, it'd be below bad and it wouldn't even be on the list. Call of Duty Ghosts. Oh my god. Bad. Bad game. Campaign was good, but that's the only reason we're not making a whole new category below bad. Armor 2. Didn't play much, but what I did play of it was alright. The mechanics were, too advanced for me, I think. I'm a bit of a stupid idiot. But Armor 2, it's mid. Now, initially, I was interested from the initial trailers years and years and years and years ago. But what really got me interested was the cool, very specifically just cool, definitely just cool robots that they showed. So I bought it. And yeah, let's move on. Battlefield 2042. I spent £80 on this game. I pre-ordered this game. I was so hyped for this game. I played it at launch. Terrible. absolutely terrible. One of the worst games I've ever played on launch, ever. But they fixed it, as EA do. They just release rubbish games and then fix them. That's just what they do. And I can't lie. The gunplay of 2042 is some of, if not my favourite online FPS gunplay I've ever had. But it's just not, it doesn't feel like a full-on Battlefield game. There's like hardly any destruction. Most destruction comes from the Bad Company maps. So at launch, below bad. But current state, how much fun I've had, it's a good game. And yeah, we're moving on. Bad Company 2. Can't lie, lads. I've never owned the game. But PS3 had this demo you could try. And it'd be, you'd play one full match. And then you'd have to buy the game. But if you just uninstalled the demo and reinstalled it, you get to play another full match. I uninstalled, reinstalled it, played one match over and over again for quite a while. My first ever experience with a Battlefield game, and you know what? It was mid. And that's because I was a child. I wasn't specifically very good at the game, but the reason it's mid is because, you know, I never owned it. So I can't really put it any higher. Battlefield Hardline. Oh my goodness. Call of Duty meets Battlefield. The Battlefield that wasn't meant to be Battlefield. The Dead Space Battlefield. Cops versus robbers. The money system. Honestly, not terrible. But not good. It's mid. We're moving on. BattleBit Remastered. The proximity chat when you die. The proximity chat with other people. Oh, it's so unique in a way, sort of. As in, like, the mainstream games don't have that. Obviously, Arma has it, DayZ has it, that sort of thing, but they're not really the mainstream FPS games. So for that, the amount of fun I've had over BattleBit, it's a good game. It can't go in Elite because I'd still be playing it if it was Elite, you know, I'd still go back. Starfield. Bethesda. Initially, I thought it was quite good. I thought it was good. And I was enjoying myself. And then my friends completed it. And then, you know, they voiced their opinion. And, you know, they didn't like it. Maybe even disliked it. But, you know, I stuck to my guns saying, you know, it's overhated or whatever. But, you know, thinking back, there's nothing that dragged me back to complete the game. So, you know what? I'm going to say it. It's bad. Now, the order of these specifically will be changed at the very end a little bit. I probably won't be asked to be able to change all of them, but yeah, just keep that in mind. Battlefield 5. Well, my opinion on this game, it's got better over the years, but initially, oh my goodness, I did not like it. It was different from what I was used to with Battlefield 4, and it was World War II, and there was a lot of World War II shooters at the time, and it's just after what they do with Battlefield 1, you expect a certain degree of excellence when it comes to the Battlefield franchise, and that wasn't there. I'm going to say this is a bad game. Bioshock. Well, very unique. Upgrade system's cool. Underwater's cool. The big robots are sick. And yeah. For me, when I played it, I was heavily intoxicated. But still, it's elite. It is just it'd make me cry a little bit if I put it in the same category as Overwatch 2. It's miles better than Overwatch 2. Let's move on. Here we go then. Black Ops 2. Everyone loves this game. Me, I don't. I don't hate the game as much as people that know me probably think I hate the game, but I do not like it. I do not love it. For me, it was the start of going into the future of CODs, and that was the downward spiral of the franchise. Now, other people can look at that as the last good Call of Duty, which I completely get. But I wasn't very good at the game. I didn't have a good experience. I didn't like the campaign. The funny bit where Wood stands up at the end was good, but it's not bad. It's mid. Speaking of Black Ops Cold War. Black Ops Cold War. Zombies was actually quite fun. Multiplayer was very try hard, and one of the first, if not the first card I played on PC, I think, maybe. So I wasn't like elite, and that was the time when the movement revolution in COD or whatever it was happened, and it became like a try hard, sweaty game. Yeah, just mid. I'm not going to elaborate. Let's move on. Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, movement shooter. Um, exosuits and jetpacks and whatnot. Um, not as terrible as everyone remembers it to be. Everyone hated, at least in how I remember it. Everyone at the time hated the loot box system because of the guns and stuff and the different the look required to get different variations of guns. But I like that. It made me want to play it more to earn the daily supply drops or you know, I didn't put any money into microtransactions, but the the cosmetics were fucking cool. The gingerbread bloke, the purple goldy glove things. I really like them. And when you did eventually get a cool thing from a supply drop, it felt good. And maybe that's a bad thing, but yeah, for me, Advanced Warfare is not terrible. It's mid. It's not a good game, but it's not a bad one. Borderlands 1. Everyone loves Borderlands. Oh, yes, we love Borderlands. Woohoo! One game of the year, I'm pretty sure. For me, bad. Bad. I hated it. Let's move on. The pre-sequel, Borderlands, the pre-sequel, to be specific. Played this with a mate, entirely with someone else. Same person I played Borderlands 1 with, actually, but yeah, me and Leo just killing stuff. I played as the Revolver Woman. It was fun. It was quite short, I remember it being, but it was fun. I did enjoy it. And for that, it goes in good. It's not a mid game. It's not a bad game. It's a good game. Let's move on. I've been stupid. I put Black Ops 3 as Black Ops 2. It literally, oh my god, you see the 3 behind it. Well, pretend, you know what, let's put Black Ops 2 there then. So Black Ops 3, yeah, we'll just pretend that never happened. Black Ops 3, cool abilities. I only ever played as the sword guy, I won't lie. Yeah, a little bit of the robot bloke, but I just, the first person you unlock is the sword bloke, and I just played as him. The shit military Kratos. Plays him the whole time. Custom cameras were cool. The Batman SMG that most people had, I had that as well. I really liked the ability system. God, the robot was fun. Yeah, for me, as much as the Call of Duty games are, it's a mid game. Let's move on. Speaking of Call of Duty, wow, Modern Warfare 2, the original, the real one. Modern Warfare 2. Oh my god, the campaign was so good. Ghost, what happens to Ghost? PTSD as a child, and man, I'm just thinking about it now. I hated General Shepard after what he did, and the final mission in the game was so rewarding because of that. And then the multiplayer. Oh my god! I was obviously young when I played the multiplayer, but I was still very, very good at it. And playing it with friends and family, search and destroy, team deathmatch specifically. Mwah. just so good. The guns, the sound. It's the game that made me really love sound design of guns in games and just be like overly weird about sound designs, of guns in games. It's GOAT. I really love that game. And I think, in my opinion, that's the greatest COD that there ever will be. And yeah, I appreciate people like Black Ops 2 more. But for me, that is the pinnacle of Call of Duty. Modern Warfare 2, the real one. Modern Warfare 3, Makarov 1. Um, they cartoonified the sound design a bit. The campaign was all right, but it just felt like they tried to do the same impact as Modern Warfare 2 again, with obviously soap, and that was traumatic as well, but it wasn't as good as 2. The multiplayer was not as good as 2. The game wasn't as good as 2. Survival was quite cool, but it was niche and wasn't nowhere near as good as Zombies. It's a good game. It's not bad, and it's not mid, and it's not elite, and it's not GOAT. So yes, good. Modern Warfare 2, the fake one. I won't lie. The the best thing to come out of this game was probably FOAP. And I was very good at this game when it initially dropped. I was very good, and I was tryharding, and even then, I said, it's the best COD in years because it is, but that doesn't make it an elite game. It's just a good game. Let's move on. World War II. Call of Duty World War II. Bad game. Fight me. Counter-Strike 2. Um, Valve finally made a sequel to CSGO. And it's terrible. It's just terrible. It's not fun. The only upgrade is that it looks good. The hit registration is terrible. The enjoyment is terrible. The tryharding is terrible. And it's not as fun as CSGO. And that's just not up for debate, unfortunately. Counter Strike 2 is a bad game. Black Ops 1. Whew. Black Ops 1 for me has the best zombies any Call of Duty has ever had and ever will have. Granted, I didn't play Origins with the giant robots, I think, and apparently that's what people like the most, but I didn't play it. And this is my tier list based on games I've played. Greatest zombie. The zombies alone gets this game above good into elite. The zombies alone. The multiplayer system with the money and stuff. I'd not played a game that had that sort of thing. Black Ops. Beautiful. Brilliant game. Elite game. Let's move on. Call of Duty Warzone. I've lumped 1 and 2 into this. I haven't got Warzone 2 or anything like that. This is just Warzone. Bad. I'm terrible at it. It didn't run well back when I had a bad PC, but even now, when it runs well, I don't want to play it. It's just so try-hardy and focuses on movement and stuff. It does not feel like Call of Duty. And yeah, unlucky. Metro Exodus. Single player only. Open world-ish Metro game. The AI is great. I don't know. I've not looked at any reviews of the game or anything, but in my experience, the AI is great. And I played the 1.0 build of this game. No patches. And only experienced a couple of issues. But I don't know what it was, especially towards the end of the game. I was hooked on the story. The atmosphere is great. It's one of, if not the best looking game I've ever played. The first game I ever played with ray tracing enabled. Brilliant. And for that alone, where does it go here? Elite or GOAT? I want GOAT to be very special category. So it's going in Elite, but that'll probably be towards the front at the end of the video. Cyberpunk. Oh, God. I was stupid enough to complete this game and give it a 10 out of 10 on my Steam profile. But, that sums up recency bias. Uh, Plagued with bugs. Quite shallow. Uh, I literally used a revolver the whole time, just max out revolver stuff, which is fine, but yeah, a lot of stuff I didn't do or didn't want to do. And the Adam Smasher boss fight, he just got stuck in the bloody floor, and I was really looking forward to the Adam Smasher boss fight and the whole coolness of it, and him just shit talking me when his bloody head is sticking out the floor is, kind of disappointing. So even though I gave it a 10 out of 10 in the heat of the moment, because it's such an emotional story and whatnot, I would say Cyberpunk is mid. Let's move on. It's probably better now, but I've not played it again. DayZ. My all-time favorite game. Wow. This game revolutionized the survival open world sort of style of game. Absolutely. Rust wouldn't exist without DayZ. So many games wouldn't have existed without DayZ. Originally starting out as an Arma 2 mod, obviously. DayZ, the interactions. If you take DayZ on its own and you never meet anyone and you're just walking around looking for food and surviving, it's all right. It's not necessarily enjoyable, but it's all right. Where the fun kicks in is DayZ's the game you can play for 6 hours and not meet anyone and feel absolutely awful and say the game's terrible. Or you do that and then you just you just see the "you are dead" screen and then you're like mad and it's terrible. But once that interaction happens, that one interaction in DayZ, it will stick with you for a very long time, and you will look to replicate it in the game because there's such great experiences. Some of the people, when you don't get shot on sight, when you actually get to talk to people and interact with them and do this thing where it's not necessarily role play, but it's not hardcore role play, but it's definitely not just speaking as if it's purely just a game 100% of the time. For me, DayZ is a goated game, and I won't hear anyone out. I won't. No, that's undisputed. It's goated. Sorry. Dead Island 1. Okay, let me sum up my experiences with Dead Island. Played it a bit with one of my mates. Don't really remember that. I just remember killing zombies. And then I tried to play it by myself one time. Now, all the audio was super loud and distorted. And and there's a level at the start of the Dead Island where there's the start of the game. There's a bit with a pool, and you go in. It's got a little bit of water. And when I had the audio issue, the sloshing of the water combined with the groans of the zombies was so funny and so frustrating. And no matter how many times I uninstalled and reinstalled and verified the files, it was just like that. And it probably still is like that. So for me, Dead Island is a bad game. Let's move on. Deathloop. One of the most unique games I've ever played. I've not played Prey's DLC, but I've heard about it. I've not played any Dishonoured's, but I've heard about them. Deathloop, however, wow. For me, the gun design, great. The characters, the voice actors of Colt, I believe his name is, just great. The actual concept of the game, once you get the death loop going and you're a bit in the midpoint of the game, the repetitive loop is great. It's so much fun. The detective work you do, it's just great. And the audio design is brilliant. The art design is brilliant. People had issues with it running. I remember I had issues with it running on the first day, but it was so much fun that I didn't care. For me, Deathloop is an elite game. Play it. Deep Rock Galactic is on its own. If you're just playing by yourself, which I've done a couple times, I don't like the game. But you play it with friends. It's such a fun time. It's like Helldivers a little bit. Helldivers isn't on the list because it's not first person. You can toggle first person, but it's not an FPS in my opinion. But Deep Rock Galactic, fun, but I wouldn't say. Okay. It's fun, but it's not elite. The art style is great. The audio design is great. There's some red sugar over here. That sort of thing. Good, but yeah, it just gets good for me. Move on. I never got to play the multiplayer of Halo 4, but exclusively basing it off the story. Whew. My first 343 Halo I played, of course. And I didn't really read into what everyone thought of the game, so I got to play it fresh off the back of Halo ODST with form my own opinions before I saw what everyone else thought. And thank God I did, because I didn't go with like a negative mindset or anything like that. I really like Master Chief's design. I really liked the story, the direction they took it. I really liked it. The Prometheans got a bit repetitive, but they were cool. And the 3 games of fighting Flood, it was nice for a little bit of a change. I'm glad they didn't just force the Flood back in immediately. Halo 4 is it's elite. Based off of the story alone. The multiplayer was probably terrible, I don't know, but for me it's elite, in my opinion. Dying Light 1. The Dying Light that has guns. Played it on the PS4. Zombie parkour game. What's not to like about that? Apparently, there's not too much to love about this game for me. Fun, obviously. The multiplayer was fun. The stretched out guns were funny, and it was scary. But I wouldn't say it's one of the best games I've ever played. It's just the concept was great, of course. Dead Island, but you can parkour. That's what it was when it first came out. That's what people thought it was, and that's what it is. And Cal Crane's a maniac. Dying Light 1 is a good game, and I don't think there's any arguments apart from to put it higher. I don't think anyone calls Dying Light 1 mid. Let's move on. Fallout 4. I remember being with Jake in Tesco and seeing Fallout 4. The Xbox. Jake got the Xbox edition that came with Fallout 3, and I got the PS4 edition that just came with Fallout 4. Got home, played it, speaking to my friend over Skype or whatever it was at the time. He's a massive Fallout fan. Playing Fallout 4, so good. When I initially played it. Now let's specify when I initially played it, because I carried on playing it, carried on playing it. I never completed the game. Also, by bad chance, I would say, by complete stupid bad luck, I predicted the plot twist in Fallout 4 of the son being the old scientist bloke. I predicted that, which obviously took the oomph out of it. I don't know how I did that, but yeah. I got so bored of Fallout 4's gunplay that I just started using a melee weapon and beating people to death. And yeah, Bullet Sponge Simulator without mods, Fallout 4's mid, and fight me. There's nothing you can say about that. Fallout 76. The worst battle royale mode in any game I have ever played. It was dreadful. When it initially launched and I initially bought it, obviously Fallout Online seems like a great idea, but it launched with no NPCs and just a bunch of reskinned Codsworths around the map, and big ass bees and some sloths, some mutant things everywhere. Fun with it was all right fun with friends, but it very quickly turned into let's just go here so I can level up the battle pass. And yeah, Fallout 76. I think no one disagrees that it's a bad game, and it's a game that had its moments, but it's not mid. It's not on the same level as Fallout 4. New Vegas, Fallout New Vegas. Everyone loves this game. I've never completed Fallout New Vegas, but I have like 16 hours of playtime, so I think I'm allowed to have an opinion. Fallout New Vegas, I did not like this game. I was bad at it. I played it wrong, yes. I just walked into like a casino and killed everyone and met the house guy and killed him, like, but never really got far into the story, never really understood what was going on, never really immersed, never really tried to immerse myself either, but yeah, I didn't have a good time. But I think I would be crucified by someone if I put it anywhere else other than if I put it in the bad tier, I'd get crucified. So it's going mid for me. Far Cry 2, the greatest injured healing animations in any game. Sorry, just pure facts. That I will put it in the good category. I think being on the same level as Dying Light's fair for Far Cry 2. I liked Far Cry 4. Again, never finished it, but I didn't dislike it. Played it a lot with Leo, of course. That helped heighten the enjoyment of it, but never really, never really loved the game. It's really repetitive. Yeah, it's mid. It's mid. It's mid. It's mid. I'm gonna move on just immediately. Counter Strike Global Offensive. Uh, skins, Russians, hackers. Mid. Refusing to elaborate. Fistful of Frags. Now, not a lot of people probably remember this game, but I do. The mechanics were quite good, but yes, mid as well. Mid game, cool mechanics, but the mechanics definitely carry it. The gunplay was crap. Let's move on. Generation Zero. Robot, cool music, robot fight game. Open world survival. Really lackluster in terms of features, but the gas canisters alone, playing that with friends and shooting the gas canisters and watching them fly across the whole map, it's a good game. It's not even mid. That alone gets it good. I've never laughed as hard at just a gas barrel exploding my friend as that game. And it's just, it will have a special place in my heart for how much it made me laugh in the short time we played it. Doom 2016. Now, I'm sure Jake is expecting it to immediately go in the elite or GOAT category, but then you have to remember it's me. I'm rubbish at movement shooters. I'm notoriously bad at Doom. Never completed it. Never got past those weird worm things. I don't know what they're called. The weird centipede-looking guys. Sorry, guys. It's mid for me. Let's move on. GTFO. Scary, atmospheric, cool gun sounds, cool visuals, but just honestly, I really like the game and the aesthetic and want to play it more, but it's quite repetitive. In the same vein as Deep Rock is, it's takes ages for a mission, and if you fail right at the end, it's so demoralizing. Whereas in like Helldivers, if you fail right at the end, you're like, okay, let's go again because for democracy and stuff. GTFO doesn't have that aura. It's just like, oh, we failed after 40 minutes. Are we really going to go again? Let's go get some food before that. And then we have like a 40-minute break and then don't play it again. Unfortunately, it's mid. Unfortunately, Half-Life 2, what is that, episode 1? Yeah, Half-Life 2, episode 1. Now, Half-Life 2, episode 1, I can't lie, they blur in my head a bit, Half-Life 2, episode 1 and episode 2. So all three of them just blurring my head a little bit. But Half-Life 2 Episode 1 is an elite game. Half-Life 2 is an elite game. Half-Life 2 Episode 2, that's when we step it up. For me, that's a goated game. I really liked that. The car section where you fight the hunters and the striders, just that's one of my favorite single player moments in games. You know, Sector Sweep was the soundtrack as in parts of that game, and it's just brilliant. Really enjoyed it. Half-Life 1, I get it revolutionized the storytelling in games and whatnot, in FPS games specifically, but I didn't like it. Mid. My personal experience is that it was a mid game. I got stuck on one level for a very long time. Less said about it, the better. Let's move on. Halo Combat Evolved. First Halo with Master Chief that I played. I played the anniversary edition, so like the remaster, but I'm glad I did because I like the visuals, even though it changes the lore aesthetic and whatnot. Whatever. For me, Combat Evolved is an elite game, and yeah, I'm trying to find where I put Halo 4. Yeah, okay. So it's on the same level as Halo 4, I would say. And that, you know, the fact that it's not above Halo 4 is probably heresy to a bunch of Halo fans, but my own personal opinion, Halo 1 was good. Combat Evolved was good. Reach. Now you see, Halo 1, the original Halo trilogy, I want, even right now, I only just played them like last week, but I kind of want to play them again. Reach, I do not want to play Halo Reach again. You know, I love the characters, and Noble Six is cool, but it doesn't hit the same as Cortana, Master Chief, Sergeant Johnson, all of that. It just doesn't, and that's okay. But it's a mid game, and sorry guys, it just is. Sorry. What's this? Is this Halo? That's Halo 2, specifically the remaster. Halo 2 is elite. I would even maybe, I'm pushing it up to go, the cutscenes, the Arbiter, the end sequence, the grave mine, just so good. Really enjoyed it. Goated FPS story game. Didn't get to play the multiplayer, but yeah, move on. Halo 3. Apologies if that's Halo 3 and this is Halo 2. I can't remember, but I'm going off the basis this is Halo 3. Halo 3, just a continuation of 2, really. It's just not, it doesn't look as good though. Cutscenes weren't as good, but it was original. The final Bungie trilogy game, it's elite. Enough said. Halo 5 Guardians. Oh my god. I wasn't even a Halo fan, and I heard the hate about this game when it first came out. Why isn't it as advertised? I remember hearing about it, and I remember everyone's opinions about it, but I played it. I got it over the cloud, locked at like 30 frames, or 60, or whatever it was, and in 720p on a controller. And still, I would say it's not a bad game. It's a good game, in fact. I liked Halo 5. That's definitely not because of Spartan Vale. Definitely just really, really good gameplay. Let's move on. Halo Infinite. Unfortunately, I've lumped Infinite's free-to-play multiplayer and the campaign into one because they could be so separate it's unreal, but I have to take it into account. I really liked Infinite's campaign. The grapple hook was the best addition that a Halo game had in a very long time, probably since yeah, I don't know, probably since Master Chief in the first Combat Evolved. No, but the grappling hook was so good, and I used it all the time. But the multiplayer of Infinite, wow. I can play it. I do play it, but it feels so. My first Halo multiplayer, so I'm not really used to it, and it feels so much different from the campaign. And you know, I'm trying to play it a bit like COD, and I'm trying to be lore accurate Master Chief, and that's probably why I'm getting dunked on half the time. But for that reason alone, I've got a lump because of the multiplayer. I have to can't put it in elite. If it was just a story, it'd be an elite. But it's with the multiplayer, so it has to be just good, which not terrible. ODST. I didn't want to play this game because I was so immersed in the Halo main storyline that I just didn't want to play a spin-off. I wanted to go straight into Halo 4 after 3. But I'm so glad I played ODST. Jake told me it's a good game and I must play it, so I did, and I really enjoyed it. Music was great, the atmosphere was great, the introduction ish to open world was well done. The Virgil telling you where to go, subtly, not so subtly, great. The characters were great. The gameplay was fun. Yeah. ODST's elite. Let's move on. Rust. Oh my god. Okay, here we go. Many people love Rust. Many people put Rust above DayZ. Now, that is absolute heresy to me. You can't be doing that. Rust, I hate this game. With friends, without friends, I don't like it. The interactions, don't like them. Just doesn't hit the same as DayZ. Maybe I'm a bit salty because Rust is popular and DayZ isn't. But to me, gunplay's awful. It's too hard. Sorry, Rust is a bad game. Let's move on. Hell Let Loose. Really enjoyed it when it first came out. Then the new devs took over. I've not played it since, but I've read the controversies and, can't be judging the game purely based off controversies. But that trailer that came out, oh my god, it looked like a mobile game. And for that reason, I've not dove back into it. But I will judge it based on what I did play. And what I did play was good, enjoyable, fun. So it gets good. If I played it again now, it's probably mid, but we move on. Hunt Showdown. One of the most unique shooters I've ever played and probably will ever play. It's very difficult. You get a lot of tryhards, and even at times, it's frustrating at how difficult and how long it takes, and how good people that play the game are. There's no terrible players in Hunt Showdown. You can die to one bullet to the head from any gun. You can, you know, use rat tactics and camp people out and all that manner of stuff. But for me, so unique, so atmospheric. Who doesn't love cowboys and zombies? It's an elite game. I don't play it much because I'm crap at it, but it is an elite game. Battlefield 4. Oh, wow. For me, a lot of people that know me know that I think Battlefield 4 is the best Battlefield. I also say it's the best first person shooter ever. And, this is an FPS games list, but Battlefield 4 multiplayer FPS, is it like, arcadey team deathmatch points based? DayZ isn't that. Half-Life isn't that. Halo isn't that. But that sort of where you see kills on a scoreboard, Battlefield 4 is the undisputed GOAT for me. It's better than Modern Warfare 2. It's the most fun. It's the best I've ever been on a Battlefield game. It's just, that's the pinnacle for me. And sure, it released when it was broken, but I didn't play it when it was just released. I got it like a year after or a few months after. I can't remember. Beautiful game. No More Room in Hell. Most of the people watching probably have no idea what this is, but it's the zombie game that me and Swan used to play. And yeah, No More Room in Hell, mid. Refusing to elaborate, let's move on. Insurgency 1. I think it's the first one. Not Sandstorm, just Insurgency. I think it was the first game of its type that I played besides Armor. Like, one bullet can kill you. I've just realised I've not put Tarkov in this list. But, Tarkov would be in the bad category. Just putting that out there. Insurgency. Mid. Just mid. I'm going to start whizzing through these because I've been speaking for bloody ages. Iron Sight, like a free-to-play COD ripoff. I actually really enjoyed this game. So guess what? I'm putting it above some actual Call of Duties. The servers are shut off now, but I really liked playing that game. I was quite good at it. Modern Warfare, the original. This might be the remastered, but pretend it's the original Modern Warfare release. It's an elite game. Um, First exposure. I think I ever played World at War with this first, but it was definitely one of the most fun I've had on a COD game. It's an elite game. Killbug. I'm pretty sure I'm the only one watching this video who's ever played Killbug. But I didn't play it much, but it was unique, fun, just like Horde mode, a bit like the Doom um, Easter egg sort of levels, that sort of thing, the trials, but just as a game. Plays a praying mantis with a sword and guns. What's not to like? Good game. Not great, but just good. Metro Last Light. Not as good as Exodus, but not a bad game. I'd say it's a good game. Let's move on. Medal of Honor, Rising Sun. I believe that's called Rising Sun. PS2 game I played. I obsessed over this game as a child. I don't know why, because I could never get past a bit where there's a tank in a building and you have to kill the tank. I don't know how you do it even now. But yeah, I used to just replay the whole game. I'm pretty sure that was one of the first missions, but I used to just replay the whole game until I got to that point and then restart. Based off my own pure experiences, it's a good game. Even though I probably only played like the first hour, if that, over and over again as a child, but I just remember it as a good game. So yeah. Killzone 2, the only Killzone that I fully played a lot. Um PlayStation exclusive, I believe. Just reminding me of the aesthetic of Wolfenstein, sort of, super soldiers that you fight against, that sort of thing. Guns were cool. It was unique back when I played it. The multiplayer I remember was quite fun. Unless I'm confusing that with another game, but in my head, I'm going to say it was that game. So I'm going to say Killzone 2 was good, but I can't put it any higher because I don't remember it too much. Resistance 1. Resistance 1 is one of the most unique, just fun, cool games that I've played, especially on the PS3. Yeah, it's probably like a Halo or Dead Space ripoff, but I remember being blown away that when you got stuck with a grenade or something, you had to shake the controller to get it off of you, and that sort of thing for me just blew my little head off. And I was scared, but the image was cool. The whole thing was just cool. I'm gonna put it in good. Shadow Warrior. I believe this is Shadow Warrior 1. I played this and it kind of reminded me of like if Doom Guy was Deadpool, sort of. I know it sounds cringy, but it was cool to me and fun gimmick. Just kill stuff. You're like very clearly overpowered. Just a good game. Fun. Play it. Especially you, Jake. Doom Eternal. I'm crap at movement shooters, but even I can appreciate the greatness of this game. I've never completed it, but it was so much fun when I did play it. Doom Eternal has got to go into Elite. The soundtrack, how cool you feel. Just mwah, perfect. Perfect game, and I really should complete it probably. Maybe. Star Wars Battlefront 2 for the PS2, that is. Um Uh, I preferred the first one on PS2. I'm going to put this in good, but I really did prefer the first one. I barely ever played this, but I did play it. So yeah, I'm going to move on. Overwatch 1. Overwatch 1, I pre-ordered the game. I played the very first beta that came to PlayStation, played as Tracer, liked the game. Good. I wasn't very good at it, but I liked it. And then didn't play it for a few years, came back, and they got rid of like a lot of the cool stuff that I really liked. I would say Overwatch 2 is a better game than Overwatch 1, which, probably people don't agree with. But Overwatch 1 at launch was so good. I'm putting it in good. It's probably bad towards the end of its life, but I didn't play it then. Good game, not as good as Overwatch 2. Payday 2. Yeah, I don't like this game. Uh it's a bad game. I just don't like it. Sorry. Planet Side 2. Surprisingly, very unique for me. The scale, the zoom out scale, and you're actually fighting for control of a big ass map. Just I remember it being cool. The gunplay was uninspiring though. Wasn't very fun. It was just unique. So I'm gonna say it's mid. Yeah. Squad. Uh just like Hell Let Loose meets Armor, sort of simplified Armor almost. Didn't really enjoy it as much as Hell Let Loose. I feel like Hell Let Loose is a lot more accessible than Squad. Squad is mid. Probably better than Armor, but Squad is mid for me. Resistance 2. I don't remember much about this game. I blew it a little bit with Resistance 1. But what I do remember is just not being as blown away because I had already played 1. Resistance 2 is mid. Rush Team. Now, this is an online web browser free to play game that I used to play on my laptop as a child. Now, why is it on this list? Well, because I'm trying to include everything. This game is the epitome of bad. It's terrible. There's just hackers. There was hackers everywhere because it was free to play web browser. People with gold guns playing chicken wildfire noises when you killed you. It was just, ugh. Man, I didn't like it. Speaking of what I didn't like, Stalker Shadow of Chernobyl, I just didn't like it. Sorry, I'm not even elaborating. Didn't like it. Sniper Ghost Warrior. I never played Sniper Elite. So Sniper Ghost Warrior was the first sniper game where it followed the bullet. That sort of thing. When you got a headshot, it follows the bullet in slow motion. I really liked that. It felt cool. The guns were cool. The suppressors were cool. The stealth was cool. I'm going to say it's a good game. We got Splitgate. Halo with portals. Splitgate. Everyone would say, the portals was a good idea. Very unique. No, bad game. Don't like it. I'm refusing to elaborate. Let's move on. The original Battlefront. Wow. I'm so upset at myself that I didn't play this game more, and I stopped so abruptly when there was one update that broke the game for a little bit. I'm just It's the first game I've ever downloaded the beta of at 3 a.m. when I was in school the next day. I stayed up till 3 a.m. purely just to play it. The hype when this trailer dropped of the AT-AT walking in the snow. Man. Take me back, please. I remember it so well. The Walker Assault game mode is one of, if not the best, giant map scale game modes I've ever played in a game, especially a Star Wars game. Battlefront 1 is elite. Team Fortress 2, the classic, the free to play, a lot of people's first FPS games that had computers before consoles. This game only deserves one category, and that is the GOAT category. Just such. Do I even need to elaborate? Taunting, hats, revolutionized the cosmetics in games and that sort of thing. And unfortunately, CSGO blew it out of the water because Russians didn't like cartoon heavy laughing eating sandwich. Let's move on. The finals. I really love the devs, former Battlefield devs. I love playing the game, but I haven't really played it much. And for that reason alone, I can't put it in Elite or GOAT, obviously. Otherwise, I would have played it more, Good game. Nearly in mid, purely because of me. I'm rubbish. Titanfall 2. You know what? I'm going to save that to last, I think. Rainbow Six Vegas. Rainbow Six Vegas was the only game I have ever played on console where I couldn't figure out how to invert the look up and down. So when I moved the stick up, it looked down, and when I moved the stick down, it looked up. And man, oh man, that I don't know why, but that made it so memorable to me, and it was so cool. Even though aiming was so weird, I'll forever associate inverted aiming with Rainbow Six Vegas, purely because I was a child and didn't know how to change that. Good game. Uh, Purely based on that. It's just I've got really good memories, so it's a good game. Let's move on. Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege. Getting to the end now, but Rainbow Six Siege, when it first came out, such a good tactical game. And even now, it's been adapted for esports a lot, unfortunately, but I like it. It's so try hardy, but when you're in the zone and when stuff goes right, when you've got a full squad to queue up with, such a fun experience, and it's an elite game. And not many people would disagree with that, I don't think. Maybe someone puts it in the bad category, but just get better, mate. Player Unknown's Battlegrounds. Oh, no, no, no. Totally Accurate Battlegrounds. I realise I might have forgot to put PUBG on the list. I thought I put PUBG on the list, but oh well. PUBG would probably be in the good category. Just saying. Totally Accurate Battlegrounds. When it first came out, it was free to play. Everyone started playing it, and then they put a price tag on it, which immediately eclipsed the servers. For that, and that alone, this game is mid. It was so fun, and then overnight, ruined. Turok Evolution, PS2 game. That's right, Turok is on the list. I've played this game. I remember being terrified of this game, even though you're meant to be cool guy that kills dinosaurs for fun. Terrified of it. Mid, but only because I was scared. Yeah. Enough said. Unturned. Free to play Daisy. Team Fortress 2 Daisy. Cartoon Daisy. Minecraft Daisy. Unturned. They added bullet drop. Bad game. Next. Valorant. Valorant. Yassified CSGO, as I would call it. Not terrible, but definitely not good. Mid. Let's move on to Warface. Warface. Free to play, take cover and like assist people over, assist people up ledges and stuff, that sort of thing. Very unique when it first came out. Not sure how it plays nowadays because I played it so long ago, like at least 8 years ago ish. I think it was all right. Mid. There's a lot of mid games I'm seeing. I'm realizing now, but yeah, just mid. Call of Duty World at War. Saving one of the best till last. Call of Duty World at War is a game. Is a game. Came up with Nazi zombies. Brilliant game mode. One of the best, if not the best, round-based game mode ever in history of games. Multiplayer was fun, brutal, gory, rewarding. You got people that hard camped, but I'd still dunk on them because I was the best back then. Vehicles like the tanks and stuff, and the kill streaks, and the announcers, and the campaign, everything. This goes in the GOAT category. But now we're at the final one of the list. The one I saved until last, and that is because I have a unique opinion. I have a unique opinion about Titanfall 2, I think. I haven't played much of it, but what I did play was absolutely terrible. It's a terrible, I'm joking. It's one of, if not the most greatest games ever, and one of the biggest missed opportunities of all time in terms of gaming. Respawn have messed up big time switching to Apex. They've probably made a lot more money than both Titanfalls, but Apex is nowhere near as good as Titanfall, sorry. Titanfall was wall running, cool robots. You can't wall run in Apex Legends, as far as I'm aware. And there's no cool big robots. So they just fucking got rid of the cool stuff of Titanfall and made it a battle royale. It's just what? Titanfall 2. I've not played Titanfall 1, but Titanfall 2 is one of the most innovative, greatest missed opportunities in FPS games history. A lot of people are going to agree with that, but yeah, that is the end of the tier list. I guess at the start of the video I said I'd sort through all of these sort of, so let's just quickly do that now. What's the best game on this list? Let's start with the juicy ones up here. For me, in my opinion, oh, I'm going to put DayZ there. I think TF2 goes above Half-Life for me. I think Halo 2 goes above Call of Duty World at War. Oh, I've got to put Titan. Oh my god, I might put Titanfall purely because I didn't get to play it that much. Titanfall goes there, but all of these games are so good up here. Brilliant. Elite. What's at the front of Elite? Just missing out on GOAT. Halo 4 goes there for me. Battlefront goes there for me. Metro Exodus goes there for me. Deathloop goes there. Halo Combat Evolved goes there. If I can get it there. If it wants to go there, there we go. And I'm not really looking at the rest. So the orders don't really matter of these. So just don't think too much into it. Good. What's the best good game that's nearing Elite? I would say Resistance. I would say Overwatch 2 honestly is nearing Elite. It's just got to, change quite a lot. So it's not really nearing it. Me, the pre-sequel probably is. If it was longer, I probably would have put it in Elite. I think Halo 5 is probably at the back of good, near mid. But yeah. Let's move on to mid. What's the least mid game here? Probably GTFO. Least mid game. Squad. Valorant probably gets up there as well. Yeah. Now, here we go. I'm gonna leave this end of it, but what is furthest to the right? What's the worst game on this list? That's a big question to answer. Worst game on the list. Let me just sort these out. Yep. Yeah, I think that's fair. Rust, Payday, Ghosts. Worst games on the list. Thanks for watching, guys. Yeah. Sorry if I've absolutely butchered your games that you like, or if I committed multiple acts of heresy, or if I just yapped pointlessly about random ass games for ages.